All right, here's another video for my fellow disc golfers. You know who you are. I love disc golf. You love disc golf. This disc is from Wyatt Tyler, another chiropractor, team MVP. Solid. Thank you, Dingo, for hooking me up with this disc. So today I'm going to be talking to you about the shoulders. We're going to be doing 5 stretches for the shoulders. Why do we want to stretch in the first place? Well, it's good to warm up, to do dynamic stretches before a round, to get things warmed up, to get blood flowing, to get joints nice and lubricated, to get biomechanics working a little bit better. It's good to stretch on your days off, to gain flexibility, to train your brain about where your body is in space. And it helps in many different ways. So we're going to do 5 stretches for your shoulders. 2 in the front, 2 in the back, and 1 up above. You might know some of these already, but some of it might be new for you. So we're going to stretch, bring our arm across our body, do a cross body stretch to stretch our shoulders out a bit, the posterior shoulder, the back of the shoulder a little bit. Now when we're stretching normally, again, on our evening routines, our routines on our days off, not before an exercise, we want to hold for about 45 seconds or so. Now, if you're stretching before a round, it's good just to get range of motion. This is called dynamic stretching. Going to the end range, doing a quick stretch, maybe just holding it a little bit, maybe just holding it a bit here, holding it a bit there. But for our days off, we want to hold it for 45 seconds. Oh, that feels good on the shoulders already. The next one, I'm standing in the doorway because why? We're going to stretch the pecs a little bit. The front here, the pec minor, the pec major. So slide your hand up the wall or down the wall a little bit. Find where you get the best stretch. You don't want it to pinch. You don't want these to hurt. You want to find where you're getting a good stretch and it's not painful. If it's painful, there's probably some inflammation in there. There might be some tendonitis. There might be some biomechanical, some neurologic, structural issues that might need to be addressed. And of course, seek professional attention is always good. But getting a good stretch in the pectoralis muscles, especially that pec minor. I think of the pec minor kind of like an accessory rotator cuff muscle. It's a pretty cool muscle. Sometimes today in the practice, actually somebody had a problem with their pec minor. It was actually causing tingling and numbness in their hands. Can you believe that? Well, if we look at the neurovascular bundle that goes underneath that, it's kind of easy to understand. So sometimes when people have tingling numbness in their hands or arms, that could be coming from under the pec minor, could be coming from under the collarbone here, the clavicle, or the neck. So we got across the body, we got the pec stretch here in the doorway, and we got 2 stretches for the back, or behind you, I should say, not necessarily for the back, but behind you. Grab a towel, disc golf towel, y'all got one. Grab it like so. Now you could do the stretch just with your hands, like so, coming up here. But sometimes that's hard to do, especially for people with previous shoulder injuries. So we want to grab the towel, both arms, and stretch upwards like so. Keep your head up. Don't necessarily hang it down forwards. It's not necessarily good for the neck. And just hold that. Oh, that feels good. Oh yeah, this really loosens up my shoulders. Feels nice. The last stretch is for the supraspinatus muscle. There's a couple other muscles in there as well, but I like it for the supraspinatus. And the way this works, we grab the towel, throw it behind our back, grab it with the other hand, and then we pull upwards like so. We pull upwards. And then what we can do, if I'm stretching this shoulder here, pull upwards and then bring the shoulder forward a little bit. Oh, that is such a good stretch. That feels so good. Right on. That supraspinatus muscle. A lot of times when people talk about rotator cuff damage, rotator cuff injuries, it's because of that impingement of that supraspinatus muscle. When people talk about, oh, I tore my rotator cuff, or maybe they have bursitis, or maybe they have a torn labrum, it's often because of bad mechanics over years. Injuries we don't feel them right away. Sometimes they take a long time to develop. Well, sometimes we feel them right away. Big impact stuff, right? You all know what I'm talking about there. Anyway, there's 5. Oh, one more. Forgot this one, hanging. Now, you'd be better off doing this on a pull-up bar. I'm just going to demonstrate in the doorway here, and this can be something that's very beneficial for the shoulder, even that supraspinatus muscle. Of course, if you have an injury, you can't get your arms up there, it's painful, it pinches, it's not comfortable, maybe stay away from some of these, seek professional advice. But hanging can be very good to loosen up the shoulders. Lean back a little bit, maybe lean forward a little bit. If you have an impingement syndrome, leaning forward will probably be not so comfortable. And you could also do one arm at a time. You don't need to hang your entire body weight. You just pull down as much as until you start to feel a good stretch, especially right back in this area, right through the back of the arm, the side here. That can stretch out that subscapularis, maybe a couple of the other rotator cuff muscles as well. And it just brings some space in that area. Oh, whew, my shoulders feel better already. Hope you have a wonderful day. There's 5 stretches for your shoulders. I'll look forward to talking with you in the future. Bye-bye.